Candice, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Welcome to Girls Guide to Greatness. Once again, this is your second time on the show. Isn't that amazing?
Yes.
And
awesome.
it's a perfect time too, because as we're closing out the year, we're going to get into some crazy cool stuff here. But just in case those people out there don't know already who Dr. Candice is, Dr. Candice Staniek is a naturopathic doctor, and today she's actually here with us to talk all about brain health, which is definitely something I think we need to talk about because if your brain's not functioning right, I mean, the rest of your body is not functioning right?
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, yes. Can you tell us some of the things that you were going to tell us today about? I want to call you doctor, but you're you're Candice to me. You're just Candice. I'm going to say Candice. But yeah, share with the audience some of the things that you were going to tell us about brain health.
Yeah, for sure. So some of the things we should be thinking about when it comes to our brain health, and for anyone out there that feels young, these might not be on your mind, but they should be. So stuff like preventing Alzheimer's, anyone who has a history of multiple sclerosis, dementia, all those things, Alzheimer's and dementia in particular, they have a lot of factors around toxicity in the brain. And so when we look at toxicity, we can really help our brains out by getting enough sleep at night, because the brain actually contracts a little bit at night. And through the contraction, when the cells get smaller, the toxins are released. So that's super cool.
Okay. This is awesome. This is good to know. I just did a blog this morning on sleep. So this is good to know.
Yeah.
So
now,
as
one
far
of the
as
really important things when we're looking at brain health is we want to make sure that we don't have any congestion through the neck area. There's a lot of lymph nodes coming down either side of the neck and then the top of the rib cage, and then they dump into the heart. If anywhere along there is congested, the brain's not going to detoxify very well, and essentially then the toxins are recirculating. So
okay, I'm writing this down.
yeah. How you would know if there's issues in the neck could be swollen, it could be tender. Certainly you can palpate, press on your neck yourself, and you're looking for anything that might feel like a small pea. It also potentially could feel tender. If you happen to have a lymph node, some people have what we call patent lymph nodes. They're hardened, and they were hardened probably since childhood. They still work, but they won't necessarily go away. So that could be if someone had a significant infection in the past.
Yeah. The lymph nodes. I heard that also that there's like drainage that happens. This is what I heard about. If you actually take in or partake in like meditation practices and deep breathing, there's certain breathing techniques that actually can help drain the lymph nodes. Do I have that right?
I haven't heard that, but that would make sense to me, because if we get the body moving, the muscles contract. The force of the muscle contraction helps the lymph nodes drain.
Oh, awesome. Okay, very cool.
Yeah. Cool.
I think I got that from Deepak Chopra. It was one of his little events that he was having.
Yeah, awesome.
This is good stuff. Okay. Is there any other things that we need to be checking?
Some of the things people can do to support their brain health is to raise the head of their bed 4 to 6 inches. So some people will put a 2x4 just underneath the main mattress to lift it up.
To drain the brain. There's a
brain fluid, right?
I got that one from Dave Asprey. I'm a total nerd, Candice. I swear, total nerd. Okay, that is a good one.
Can do that. If you still feel this isn't draining, then I would suggest finding some type of lymphatic cream to just apply over the top of the skin.
Okay, awesome.
So, one of our main supplements for the brain, and of course you need to check with your medical practitioner if it's contraindicated, but one of the main supplements is melatonin. I do have a little stick about melatonin. If you're taking a melatonin and you feel drowsy in the morning, it is not being absorbed properly in your body.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Oh, yes. There are many different grades of melatonin. So you're looking for a liposomal product, liposomal melatonin. When it's liposomal, you can absorb a lot higher dose, and higher dose meaning from 10 milligrams to 20 milligrams a night, which is pretty high.
I was about to say, I've got a 3 milligram right now that I take every once in a while just in case I need it.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's actually, melatonin is known to be an antioxidant for the brain. So it's
Okay.
just helping that whole detox process. There's not a lot of substances that actually can get in below the blood-brain barrier. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
cool that melatonin can, because we have something that we can use to support the brain.
Right. And from what I know of melatonin is that that is actually something our body already produces.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm.
So to have a little bit more isn't a bad thing.
Right.
Certainly, other things we can do to support the melatonin production is to avoid being on electronic devices at night.
Yes. We all hate that one. You got to
Yes,
put the
I
phone
know.
down.
Yeah. Or I mean, the blue light app can help on the cell phones and tablets, but
Mhm.
ideally you're not on those devices really close to your eyes, because that's
Yeah.
going to slow down the melatonin production naturally.
I have the blue light blockers, the
Hmm.
glasses. I
Hmm.
have some for the nighttime and I have some for during day wear as well.
Oh,
So I
cool.
don't wear them as much as I used to, but the day wear I do at the night is just a little weird because the lenses are slightly darker and it's like, I really want to see more. It kind of blocks my vision a little bit, so I tend not to wear them as much, but yeah, you're exactly right.
Yeah,
Um, this is all good stuff. Okay, so this is all how to protect our brain, how to keep it healthy. And it
exactly.
also, and from what I'm hearing though, is that when you pay attention to that, it's going to help improve other areas of our lives, our sleep, our mood,
Hmm.
all kinds of other things. It could even help probably with digestion as well, right? Because everything is linked. And I heard that if your brain is messed up, then your digestive system is going to be messed up, and vice versa. Is that correct?
Yes, 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 and yes. Yeah, there's way more of a connection than people give it credit for. So whether there's toxins floating around in the brain or toxins floating in the gut, certainly they're going to go up and down the body, and that affects our mood overall for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I
Yeah.
love it. I love talking about this stuff all the time. Okay, so we talked about brain health, and then how can fitness play into that, Candice? Where can fitness actually help improve our brain health at all?
Yeah. So one of the cool things about fitness, when we are doing an active sport, and this doesn't need to be done every day, which is also awesome, but when we're doing active sport, that's something that involves both sides of the body. So for example, if you did rowing, that's a bilateral pulling. So it does involve both sides of the brain, but not from a coordinated point of view. So you're looking for a sport that actually requires coordination. It might be Zumba, it might be an aerobics class, it might be a certain type of high energy class, but you want both sides of the brain to be activated, which helps the communication of the corpus callosum. Also, exercise over the long term, and we have an exercise regime, it actually promotes longevity. Now,
Oh,
the one
nice.
cool
I
thing
love
I
that.
recently learned is that we can actually over exercise. So
Yes.
running is great, but when they have pulled up studies for running long term, so long distance running on a daily basis, the individuals in that category actually decreased their length of longevity versus someone that might run 30 minutes a day or walked fast every day is going to add on a half a decade to their life.
That is amazing. Oh, let me put some more nerd talk in here. Candice. Now that's actually from what I understand, to extend your longevity, that would be extending your telomeres.
Oh yeah, you got
Do I
it.
get an A for the day or what?
A plus plus. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, extending those telomeres, and that's interesting though. But it doesn't shock me only because been doing some research on how short-lived exercise, like hit training, some just putting a few hit trainings in through the week, and maybe some strength training. That's really all you need instead of having to beat up your body. Because I can totally testify to like overtraining. When I was really in my training days and I was hardcore about it, I felt like my story back then, the rules that I made it for myself were I have to feel it, I have to sweat for 2 hours, I got to do this, I got to do that. And it really long term is not good overall for your health and your body, right? And so I think it's great that it's coming out now. The science is actually showing us that it's not necessarily a good thing to be overtraining.
Yeah. So the one thing with the exercise that people don't realize, if you're doing a long distance run, let's say you run an hour, you're only burning calories for that hour. If you do strength training Tabata training, high intensity training periodically throughout your program, you then are actually building muscles that burn calories 24 hours a day.
Yes, I love it. Fat burning 24/7. I love it.
Well, and you're building the right kind of fat on your body, which is the brown fat. So we want more brown fat on the body and less white fat.
I like that. It's very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. I used to run myself years ago, and then for some reason I was just like, this doesn't feel good on my hips. This doesn't feel good on my knees. And at the time I wasn't in medical school, so I didn't know, but I had a sense that there was a long-term implication. And I was like, I don't want to participate in that. I do want to exercise, but I don't want to damage my body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's important. We kind of have to like pay attention to what we're doing. It's like, okay, your body's going to give off these signals, and it's like, all right, you've lifted enough for today. You don't have to lift enough, and you don't have to go really super fast about it either. I think we're just really tied up and, caught up in all the quick results of it all. And so we feel like we have the more we put in, the more work we put in, the more results we're going to get out. And that's not necessarily true. I've even found that to be the case in building a business as well, which, and this comes from experience and wisdom as you grow. But, when I first started out in entrepreneurship, I thought, oh, I've got to, hit it hard and grind all the time. And in reality, it's not working harder, it's working smarter. I think that applies here as well.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, we can still get those amazing results. We can still even get them very quickly. It's just making sure you're paying attention to the correct training, like a good, quality training. Almost like what Dave Asprey says is quality over quantity. And we want to think about that for our sleep as well, because many people think that, we have to be in bed for 8, 9 hours, even 10. And it's like, okay, everyone has their own circadian rhythm, and not necessarily you have to be in bed for 9 hours to get a proper nice sleep. You want to make sure you can it's been shown that some people can be asleep for 4 hours and be in deep sleep for 2 of those hours. And so deep in REM, as long as they're getting that quantity, the quality of that is definitely a bigger benefit than the quantity.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%. Totally agree.
This is all good stuff. This is my genre right here. I love it. It's my space. But I've been talking.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
If I go back to the brain and the sleep for a second,
Yes.
One of the things I always ask my patients is, what time are you waking up at night? And so typically patients will say between 1 and 3. In Chinese medicine, that is the liver time. So if that's the case, the liver probably needs to be addressed for whatever reason. And then if it's between 3 to 5 a.m., that is lung. And lung in Chinese medicine is around grief, sadness, loss.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea.
Yeah. So, people should be able to sleep through the night, minus briefly waking up to roll over, but they should not be waking up several times a night. So if that is the case, please work with your practitioner to figure out what's going on. Because like Rebecca said, the quality of the sleep is really important, and waking up several times disrupts the quality.
Okay, so I have a question, Candice. This is really interesting. Is there like a chart or something that you could like send us to where we could actually see what those levels are, where, if people are waking up at those times?
So typically you can type in TCM organ clock, and you'll get multiple different images online. Mm-hmm. And then you can kind of see where you'd be fitting into that. Yeah.
It's so cool. Now, do you have anything where the listeners and the people watching right now could go to, like any resources or any kind of programs right now that you're promoting that they could be a part of?
Ooh. Not quite yet. I will have a new program in the new year. I'm just in the process of working on that. So yeah.
Oh, how exciting. Okay, well, you'll have to let us know when that drops so I can start promoting that to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, and before we leave, actually, Candice, can you actually just share with our audience, just in case people don't know exactly what a naturopathic doctor does, like just maybe a brief description?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the things that's really important to know, all naturopathic doctors have more than 8 years of schooling. So we have a degree, and then we go get the medical degree afterwards. In our training, our sciences and clinical training is the same as a medical doctor. And then we get extra training in nutrition, counseling, physical medicine, and herbs. Each naturopathic doctor will have an area that they like to work in. So that's why when you go see a naturopathic doctor, you typically get a different experience when you're working with different practitioners, because some might focus more on gut, some are going to focus more on hormones, fertility, etc. So,
Right.
in terms of what we do is our premise is based on looking at the whole person. So we'll try to bring in all different aspects when we're working with an individual because, and this is what I say to my patients, you're not just a pair of lungs walking into my office, you're a whole being, and your entire experience and who you are brought you to that point today. So I need to work with, in understanding what kind of brought all those pieces together.
I love that. That is amazing. I'm sure your clients love you too for looking at them as like a whole person, not just an ailment or something that's hurting them at that one particular moment, but you're looking at the bigger picture at the same time. So
yeah, I've definitely had some super interesting conversations when you're looking at symptoms and what was going on like before then. Stuff that would be like, what? Why did you ask that question? I'm like, I don't know, but I need to ask the question. And they're like, oh yeah, that's like really pertinent to me. And I was like, okay, great. Headed down the right path.
Yeah, you're kind of looking at a deper level, which I love. I that's why I really promote naturopathic doctors. I promote holistic healing. I also like to promote, the functional medicine doctors out there because I feel like they take a deeper look at it. A normal doctor trained up is great, but they typically just kind of do a quick overview. A lot of them don't want to take the time or to have the time to really go deeper, and look and say, hey, let's look at this, let's look at this. So I like it when people actually take the time to actually go a little bit deeper and actually see what the cause is, see what's happening underneath.
Exactly. And so you can typically, that's a great point, Rebecca, you can typically find that naturopathic doctors on the first appointment will spend at least an hour kind of understanding your history and the symptoms and stuff. So yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Well, this has been great. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience before we leave them?
Yeah, just a reminder that the brain has a lot of mitochondria. So mitochondria are the organelles, little teeny organs inside every single cell that produce energy. So sometimes, again, if the cells are dirty, filled with toxins, those little organelles aren't going to work very well. So that might present as brain fog or whatever. So yeah, I guess the other tip would be to stay hydrated. The brain does way better when we're hydrated. So
I love that. I just did a live with a personal trainer a couple of days ago on hydration, the importance of water and hydration. So that's great. What about food? Is there foods actually that helps with the mitochondria, just kind of helping that make it stronger versus weaker or anything tied to that?
Sometimes people will look at fats. I've been a little bit hesitant to say specifically which ones because there's a little bit of controversy over types of fats. L-carnitine is an amino acid that can help some people, but again, check with your practitioner if that's appropriate for you. As far as herbs, then you'd be looking at ginger, gotu kola, bacopa, also lion's mane. Those are all general ones for the brain. Rosemary is another great one. But again, check with your medical practitioner because some of those are contraindicated with certain types of medication. And I'm not going to go into all the medications, but definitely need to check because they might seem like a benign herb and they're increasing circulation, but for some people, increasing circulation can be a major problem. So.
Okay. Yeah. Now these are all good tips. This is great. I've actually learned a lot because like I said, I'm already a nerd about this stuff. But whenever I talk to you, I always learn something new. So this has been really fantastic. Cool. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create like a little a brief list of everything we talked about on the show so I can put it in the show notes so people can see what we talked about. And if they want to reach out to us and especially you, if they have any questions on having, better brain health, improving their sleep, however they want to, whatever they want to do and improve upon, they can reach out to you for questions. So this has been amazing.
Absolutely. For sure.
I'm so excited. So Candice, this is your second time on the show. It's definitely not going to be your last. I love having you on. And we're definitely going to, the next time we have you on, we'll have to talk about the newest and latest programs that you have available for us.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be the next time. All right. Well, Candice, thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who's listening and who's watching. We truly appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next episode of Girls Guide to Greatness. Cheers.
Awesome. Thank you.